Now, perhaps the most familiar, most talked about vessels in the waters around Vancouver Island are the BC Ferries. The most recent contract to build them went overseas to Germany. But as Stacey Ross shows us, with an $8 billion injection into our shipyards, future ferry building business could stay right here.
BC shipyards can handle vessel construction and repairs on barges, tugs, fishing boats and yachts of all shapes and sizes. But in 2004, the $500 million contract to build the latest additions to the BC Ferries fleet was awarded to Flensburg, Germany.
When you're spending tax dollars and the taxpayers of British Columbia expect you to get the best bang for the dollar in the investment, you have to go out and do that.
BC shipyards were not considered a cost-effective option to build the 3 C-class vessels, in part because the adequate infrastructure just didn't exist.
The infrastructure was here. We would have obviously allowed them to bid, but we still would have considered the price, the terms and the conditions of delivery.
The Liberal government says it supported the controversial move because it made financial sense.
I was in favor of competition, and if what you're saying is we should pay, regardless of what the cost is, any amount, as long as you're a British Columbia company, I think there'd be a taxpayer revolt.
Ferries have been built in this province before, most recently the super ferries in the 1990s and the Fast Cat ferries, which came in $300 million over budget and were sold for a quarter of their construction costs. But BC yards may now have the edge over their foreign counterparts after the announcement that $8 billion will be invested into our shipbuilding industry.
This deal is going to make it a lot easier to make that case next time around, because when we have a mature and stable shipbuilding industry and all the infrastructure that goes with that, it's going to be cheaper to build ships here.
BC Ferries committed $20 million over 25 years towards training and apprenticeship as part of Seaspan's bid. And the shipbuilding boom headed our way could include new ferries, if the price is right.
The building of ships will be an issue of whether they have the ability to do that given the amount of work they'll be getting from the federal government. We've had discussions, we believe they can. Also, it'll be subject to the terms and conditions and price offered. So we'll still shop, but with this particular contract being awarded, there's a great opportunity for us to do, all this work in British Columbia.
This leads us to tonight's checkpoint question. Should all BC ferries be built in this province? You can tweet us at CHEK_news. On Facebook, you'll find us at facebook.com/CHEK_news, or email checkpoint@cheknews.ca. This is what some people had to say about it today.
Well, I guess it depends on the quality of the ferries. If you have something of high quality being produced outside and brought in, I want to ride on something that's going to float, right? So if you're producing something of equal quality in BC, then I would go for that. I would prefer BC over outside BC, but it depends on it depends on the quality and the price.
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because it's nice to give money locally.
We also heard from lots of people on Twitter and Facebook and through email. John Warnock saying, yes, of course we should. Lots of positive feedback on most of them. Yes, we should. We should be supporting the local economy. If there are problems, those here in BC would be available to help with repairs. And then we had Mike Reed saying, don't we have enough ferries by now?